Edit Audio.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robin Hopkins, and this is Well Adjusting, where I talk to people about life stuff, but not in an NPR way. It's more like we're at the bar, having cocktails, getting into your business sort of way.
It's giving drunk NPR.
Oh, and producer Steph is here too.
Hello.
Today we chat, well, I want to feel pretty. Hello, friends. Our Pride Bonanza is continuing. Today, I am so excited to have Julia Scotti here with us. She is a hilarious comedian who you may know from America's Got Talent or her documentary, Funny That Way. And she is joining us to talk about dating as an older trans woman. But of course, in the well-adjusting way, we definitely take it deeper and we touch on that thing that so many of us have said to ourselves, like, I just want to feel pretty. Let's get to Julia.
I'm Julia Scotti. I'm a comedian. I've been one for 46 years now. Also happen to be transgender. As an older stateswoman in the trans community, I've been around for quite a few years now. And the one thing I find is that establishing a romantic relationship as a trans woman in my generation is really difficult. I talk about this in my act. You know, the straight men don't want to sleep with me because they still think I'm a guy, and that would make them gay. Lesbians don't want to sleep with me because they still think I'm a guy. That would make them straight. I mean, you know, it's the punchline to that is I'm caught between a cock and a hard place. You know, I say to people, I said, you tell me I'm the one with issues. You can't get past that. And it bugs me. It just bugs me.
Tell people a little bit about your journey and your history and dating and where you are today with that.
Nothing. There isn't any. I had a cat, but she ran away too. I was in a long-term relationship, and God bless this woman. She was able to help me discover who I was. And when I did transition, she couldn't make that with me. And I understand that. I get that. I've become accustomed to being by myself.
If that's what you want, then that's great. I'm all for being like, I'm good. I'm my best friend and I'm great. But if it's not what you want, then that's something else.
I don't know what I want at this point. If it happened, I would have to think twice before I got involved again. Yeah.
And why is that? I'm curious.
I don't know. I think maybe I put up a barrier after, when enough people tell you you're a freak and this and that, after a while you go, okay. Plus, with doing stand-up, I'm always a little suspect when somebody shows me some attention.
Like they're starfuckers?
Yeah. And it's a weird place to be in at my age, but I'm just always cautious, I've been single now 25 years. I haven't been on a date in 25 years either. So you get used to that, I could have joined a convent with the vow of celibacy that I've taken. But if I woke up tomorrow and I find I'm in a relationship, if it's the right one, I could do that, sure.
But I guess the question is, do you want to do that?
I guess, it's a hard question to answer because I'm not in a relationship and I'm very at peace with myself. I'm trying to live in the moment. And in this moment, I'm okay where I am.
I can't imagine, especially when you transitioned, you said it was 25 years ago, the hatred and the bigotry and the transphobia that you've experienced and the mean things people have said, and especially somebody's poured gas on that fire in the last 10 years. Like, is the decision to be like, I'm okay with it, fear-based, or because you're just like, I just don't want to be hurt anymore?
It's some of that. I don't want to be hurt anymore. No, because I'm not going to live my life in fear. It took me so long to get out of that prison, that I was in all those years. Because I was 50 when I transitioned. And nobody's putting me back there. If you don't want me around, then you're going to have to kill me. That's the only way you're going to get rid of me.
Yeah. The thing that I'm running up against is I'm like, again, I'm such a solver. So I'm like, I'm going to find you someone to date because that's what you identified coming in here, like potentially wanting. But I don't want to be forcing you to face hurt that you're not ready to face or that you don't want to face yourself. But yeah, I guess I'm like, I want you to have the most joy in your life possible. for you, but also as like a fuck you to everyone that's taking that away from all trans people.
Steph, I'm a comedian. Do you know how much?
She's like, that's what we do is stand on stage and talk
Come
about
on.
our hurts.
Do you know how much rejection I've had in my life? I mean, starting with my parents. I mean, so it goes back to birth. That's why I say I'm very blessed to be in the position I'm in. You know, I've had everything thrown at me, you know, in terms of rejection. It hurts more to be rejected by an audience than it would by a person.
I started off as a stand-up and then I went into more acting and like you said, like I get rejected 3 times a week on commercial auditions. Like it's just, and the rejection is they just never call you. They don't care.
Right. Yeah.
People say mean things. And that is easier to get there on because to me, it's like sort of like, all right, well, I know I turned in something good. You just, maybe there was something you wanted someone taller, thinner, fatter, shorter. Like that's not personal. I would assume there's a difference between being able to say, you can go fuck yourself. I know I'm funny. You didn't have to like my set. And they don't like me personally, or they have a thing about me personally. Does it feel differently because it feels personal versus standing on stage when you just know maybe that person just didn't get the funny of you?
Yes, it does. Because it attacks who I am. One of the things when I first transitioned was I was very happy that I finally came to understand who I was. The rest of the world wasn't. My family wasn't. I was like, well, why are you so unhappy that I'm happy? You were happier when I was miserable and suicidal and, you know, I hated everything about myself. And now I'm happy. I don't know why that bothers people so much. And I do have a theory about it. I do, because what trans people go to the very core of who a human being is. They question the very essence of gender, of their humanness. We're saying that it's not XY or XX. There's more to gender than that. And people are going, no, you know, and then they bring up the Bible and blah, 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 blah.
Well, I think it makes people question everything. Themselves, everything. Well, if that's then what does that mean for me? What does that mean for my kids? What does it mean for other people? You know, it just makes people question things they don't want to question. Not everybody's willing to stand in their truth.
No, they're not. And it's the hardest thing to do.
Hey friend, I'm just jumping in here to say that we've got a new way to get in touch with us. If you want to leave us some feedback, hopefully good, or suggest an episode topic or ask a question, all you have to do is go to sayhi.chat/welladjusting. The link's in the show notes, but I'll say it one more time. sayhi.chat/welladjusting. You could leave us a voice memo and we might just use it on air. And if you happen to be enjoying this episode, why not go ahead and subscribe to the podcast or rate and review us. You won't regret it, folks. I'm curious, like, if you are truly like settled and happy and just saying, okay, I'm not going to try to date, or if you want to date, but maybe there's some fear or some hurts that are there. And I'm curious, are you open to like journaling around that to see if maybe there's a version of your life where there is another person that you're sharing it with and what that would look like? Because I feel like if you don't say it, if one, not you, but if one doesn't say it, like, how are you living into it? I think what hurts me about this whole thing is I'm listening to you and I feel like you are shutting the door on possibility because you're just like, well, feels safer and my heart is safe here. But I feel like then you're cutting someone off from meeting and being with you.
No, I'm sorry if I gave you that impression. I had it. I had Kate in my life for almost 15 years. We were together. She was the woman who got me to understand who I was. And it's the greatest love I've ever known. She's the only person who, from the beginning to the end of our relationship, I would smile when she'd walk in the room. There was just something. I love her still. I mean, I love her with all my heart. And so she's a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm afraid, what I'm actually afraid is that if I did meet somebody, I would compare that person to Kate. And it's not fair. And I don't want to do that.
It's almost like you went through a death with the end of the relationship.
Yeah. I killed Rick, you know. I killed my kid's father. I killed Kate's husband. I killed my male friend's friend. People don't know that side of transitioning because that's, they should be grateful that they don't have to go through that. But you hear a lot of that from people who were my friends and family and et cetera, et cetera. But as far as love goes, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it again. I mean, it was perfect. I love her as much now as the day I met her, maybe more, and it's been 20 something years.
I wonder if maybe the fear is not about you or opening yourself up, but it's about if you have this person on a pedestal in a comparison of the great love of your life, no one can ever show up.
No.
Ever.
I
No
know.
one will ever be able to compete. No one, and you won't let them. Like you won't
You're right.
allow them to be in your life, and because you'll be like, oh, Kate would have done that better. Maybe there's some kind of like work to be done on letting Kate go.
I have been trying. Believe me, it's not like
Yeah.
I've completely closed the door on it. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if you find the person you find for me.
I mean, maybe we're having an event, a speed dating event, where the only person they rotate to is you. I'm starting to feel like we might need to eventize this, like a stand-up show with a speed dating round
Oh,
at the end, or
Jesus.
perhaps it's at a bar, perhaps it's at a bingo center. I don't know, but I'm feeling like we might be the people to host this.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? That'd be hysterically funny, I think.
I would love to do that.
I think the thing I'm thinking about is this say it and you can live into it thing. Like, because it's like what's happening for me during this interview is my heart's hurting a little bit because I feel like I've talked to you a handful of times and you're just this lovely woman. And I'm like, all right, well, I hate to think of anyone saying this phase is over for me. And I know you're saying like someone will show up, but I don't believe someone's going to show up unless you're intentional, probably for several reasons. Not just the trans issue, but also because of the Kate issue. And also because of if we say to ourselves, I'm fine how it is. It's like if I'm like walking around and I'm like, I'm not really a hugger. There's this miracle thing that happens. No one ever tries to hug me. But if I come in the room, like I've started doing things now where I go up to people and I'm just like I met some guy on a LinkedIn thing and we met for coffee. And at the end of it, I was like, I'm a hugger and I'm going to hug you. And his face was a little startled and I think I scared him. But I was also like, fuck it, I'm a hugger. Like this is what we're doing.
I have done something similar to that. I never end a phone conversation anymore without telling the person I love them. Because in the last couple of years, I've lost two very, very close friends. And I never got to say that. So the people in my life that I do love, I tell them all the time, to the point where it's annoying. So I am open to it. Like I said, I haven't sealed the walls.
It just feels a little like this. I'm open to it versus, oh my God, I'm so open. You know what I mean? It feels a little bit like I'm open, but are you?
But doesn't that sound desperate if I go, oh my God, I'm so open?
No, absolutely not.
It sounds like hot and ready to mingle.
Yes. And it sounds like you're standing in a place of, I deserve this and it will come to me because I'm claiming it versus I'm open sounds like I'm hedging my bets.
But a lot of it too has to do with not feeling like I'm attractive. Like I want to, it sounds stupid at my age, but I want to feel pretty. And I don't feel pretty. This is the part where you go, but you are pretty, Julie.
But you're hot. Well, no, the only reason I didn't jump in with you're hot is because I was thinking that's something I've struggled with for a lot of my life. Always just feeling like I'm not pretty enough. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be really careful how I say this. I had this one friend who, I'm sorry, was just not that cute and would like bag people for years. And I would just be like, why are we out together? And no one's approaching me and they're approaching this person.
Right.
And it's truly because what this person put out there was a confidence. The reason I didn't address it is it doesn't matter how you look. It's how you think you look and how you show up in a room and what you believe in yourself.
Well, I have to present as confident as a comic. I can't walk out there and show my weakness, on stage because I'm dead in the water the minute I walk out there. So
That's a practice, though, that you can learn, and that doesn't mean you're embodying it.
no, you're right about certain things. One of them being my looks, the other one being, and you asked earlier if the taunts and the hatred towards trans people affected me. Yeah, because it affects my legitimacy sometimes in my head.
Yeah.
When J.K. Rowling spouts that shit, I go, oh God, maybe she's right. I don't know. I don't know what's right anymore. I just know how I feel, and I feel right. Like I have friends who were in the service and they got bounced out because they're trans. 20-year veterans, decorated people,
Yeah.
highly competent. And here these people come and attack their very, the very essence. So in that way I do have an Achilles heel, yes.
What did you, in the beginning of your career, anyone who's done stand up knows that in the beginning you could tell the same joke 4 nights in a row and it would hit once, maybe twice. And the other 2 nights, you don't know what you did wrong and you're finding your footing and you're finding your persona on stage. And eventually you step into it and you feel confident. But in that earlier stage in your career, where you had to walk out and project confidence and belief in your set when you didn't always have it, what skills did you pick up? What did you use? Because I feel like we might be able to transfer this over into this area to be like, what skills did you learn that we can use to help you fake it till you make it?
That's exactly the skill. There used to be a club in Brooklyn called Pips. And you'd walk out on the stage, and before you open your mouth, you suck, fuck you, get off the. And it's where I developed my lizard skin, my armor, because you hear that enough from people, and you suddenly go, wait a minute. I've had enough good shows to outweigh this bad show. And I think that's part of it. The more good experiences you have, they eventually, when you do have a bad one, it's now the minority experience.
So I'm wondering how that translates, because it's like, you don't want me and Steph to start assigning shit. So I want to ask you what you think you could do to start bringing that into, like, we stole this bedroom from my daughter, but we left on the mirror a sticky note that she had up there that says, "You look pretty." And I left that up there because at the time she was like 12, and I thought, how lovely that she put that up there for herself as a reminder about her own beauty. And I'm wondering, what is your sticky note? What is your thing that you can start to practice?
I don't know that I have a sticky note. It gets back to that pretty thing. I know it sounds it's crazy at my age, but I would love to just have somebody just tell me I'm pretty. I can't tell you how much that means. And it's terrible that I have to depend on somebody else's opinion of me for my self-esteem.
Well, but maybe you start by saying it to yourself. But I want to say that one of the first things I thought when I popped into this thing today, I was like, oh, look how good Julia looks. Like, it was like one of the first things I thought, so it's like, I'm the one who's telling you today you look pretty. But what if some days you're the one who tells you you're pretty?
There are days when if I'm getting dressed for a gig, and I've recently lost a lot of weight too. So, when I look in the mirror now, I go, okay, you're getting there. Just keep going.
Keep going.
And that's basically been the philosophy that's kept me going all these years. Is keep going. I try to stay in the moment, and I try to put things out into the universe that I want to materialize in my life. I believe in that. I believe in manifesting. Goes back to the question about, do I want somebody in my life? I haven't really manifested somebody meaningful.
That's 100% what we're saying. I never want it to be like blame the victim, because it's like maybe you weren't ready for someone to show up again. But it's like, I think there's levels to this work of like starting with like you feeling comfortable in being like, I am pretty and I have value and I will make a great partner to someone, and saying that to yourself and adding that so that then you can move into, and now I want someone to show up. If I'm holding your feet to the fire, what are some specifics you could commit to? Like, what comes to mind that are a little bit of a push of yourself, but would help you?
First, I could tell you that I would have to shift my priorities around. And I don't know that at this point in my life I'm ready to do that. I'm working on the book, which is taking up all of my time. And until that's done.
Do you have to shift priorities, Julia, to tell yourself you're pretty? I don't think you do.
Oh, to tell myself I'm pretty?
We got to start somewhere. So,
okay.
I want to know, what are you willing to commit to is what I'm
I'll commit to the pretty thing. I'll commit to the cute. No, I'll go cute. That's as far as I'll go.
We'll start with cute, move to pretty. Well, let's be aspirational.
Are there things that you do or things that you wear or like activities or something that make you feel pretty?
I'm not a big clothes horse. I've never been, I'm not a materially oriented person at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a spiritually oriented person. I spend my days thinking about shit out there in the universe as opposed to thinking about the Kardashians, you know. The person I would meet, I would like to be of like mind, to be more universally oriented as opposed to being more earthly, being more earthbound.
But things that make me feel like I don't know if I like the word pretty for myself. I feel like I have gender things around that word.
I
But
like
things,
cute more than pretty,
yeah, like
personally.
things that make me feel like hot or like good about my body and myself are like when I feel strong. So usually if I do like some sort of new strength training thing, I like that. I also like feel usually pretty good when I wear like really baggy clothes, but then do like really crazy makeup because I've just recently got into makeup in the last like 4 years and I never really did that before. So that always makes me feel good.
It's interesting. What kind of prompted you to do that? Just out of curiosity?
I think I have some like gender things around or maybe it's like gay things. Like I always would be like I only like in high school, I always thought there was like a look to being gay and I always wore just like only neutrals, only black, only brown. Like there was a whole year of my life where everything I wore was a shade of brown. Like I don't know if I like wanted to fit this stereotype or if I wanted to like sort of be like muted in a way.
The reason I ask is, did you consciously begin to shed that stereotype?
Yes. I moved to New York City and I saw people just like being so themselves
That's what I had to go through.
and like in ways where I was like, that looks bananas. Like, you should not, like, in my head, I'm like, why are you so confident? But I was like, okay, go off. I love that you're wearing like a Furby on your head and you feel good about it. Like, truly, people are wild here. And so I was like, okay, I can wear pink eyeshadow.
If I could put a timeline of my life together, I spent the first 20 years learning how to be a man because I didn't know how to be a man. I copied my father, I copied all the Italian guys in my neighborhood, I copied,
We're like playing at it.
yeah, I was. We'd go to a sporting event and they would, be like, woo! And I was like, yeah, okay, woo! And I don't know what I'm wooing about. But then when I finally understood what I was, I had to unlearn all of that and then learn a whole new set of, I hate to use the word rules, but a whole new set of behaviors. I'm still in transition to some
Yeah.
degree.
No, and that's the whole reason I was asking if there's things that make you feel pretty because I do think to a degree feeling that way about like myself comes from like a sense of routine or like practice. So I like try to do things that make me feel and like hot or like good in my body or good in myself. And like some of that is like external, like I like wearing interesting clothes that make me feel good in my body. But some of it's very internal. Like it's like what makes me feel smartest because I feel smartest when I'm hot or like I don't know. Like I have one friend that has like a 12-step skincare routine or something. And I was like, that's wild. Like they have like spent
Yeah.
like $500 or something on skincare stuff. And I remember being like, why do you do that? Like you have perfect skin. And she was like, it's the time when I feel like my most pretty. Like that's what makes me feel pretty. And it's like the practice of it. And so I'm like, okay. I don't know. I think I'm trying to get at what that is for you, and maybe you're not sure yet or whatever that is.
Even through this whole process, I've never ascribed to stereotypical female behavior because I was always conscious of somebody saying something to me like, you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that, or who do you think you are, or a turf giving me shit about being an interloper. I have a tremendous amount of lesbian friends, but they don't include, I'm like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Lesbian. I'm not included in the intimate parts of that life.
Yeah. It is amazing how many people in the queer community do not feel a part of the queer community. I've always felt just outside in a lot of ways in it, just because I never felt like I fit in exactly in one particular type. In the 90s, it was like butch femme. It was, and I always used to describe myself as like I was a Gap lesbian. Like I love a good Gap t-shirt and it's slightly feminine, but not too feminine. It's not cap sleeves and I feel cute-ish. But there's a lot of us who feel like interlopers.
This is what we should have been talking about this whole time.
We are the whole time, though. We're talking about it.
It's, I'm not a joiner. I don't belong into anything. I ascribe to the Groucho Marx philosophy that any club that would have me as a member, I don't want to be. I'm not a joiner. By the same, on the flip side of that is, I like to be included once in a while.
What you're bringing up is really great. What you're talking about in the queer community and what you're talking about dating, it's the same thing. It's the you staking claim in yourself, wherever that is, and everyone else be damned. And I think the homework for me is as simple as you starting with how to claim I feel pretty and finding those things and trying a whole bunch of different things. Do you send yourself a voice note like in email that you're going to get 6 days from now that says, Julia, you just woke up and I just want you to know you look really pretty today? Do you wake up every morning and have some mantra that you say? Do you walk around and say to people like I love to go up to people and make them give me a compliment and be like, oh my God, doesn't my hair look great? And my wife is always like, when you ask for it, it doesn't have meaning. And I said, says you. Even if I ask you to comfort me, I'll take the comfort. So even if I ask you to tell me I look pretty, then I'll take it. It's like, I want you to just find a lot of different ways to try to claim that. So you can fake it and make it.
About a week ago, I was sitting with some friends, and there was a woman there that I found really attractive, and she was commenting about my hair. What felt so good because she was responding to me as a woman to woman kind of thing. And I think that's part of my self-doubt still, all these years later. And it comes from people continually saying that I'm not what I know I am internally.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to explain to cisgender people. But ask any trans woman or any trans man for that matter, you'll probably get the same.
And that's why I just want to encourage you to step into a space where you see how lovely you are, physically. I think you already know how lovely you are as a person.
I don't.
Okay, well, I'm telling you that too today, Julia. Jesus Christ.
Well, thank you.
Well, but that's the thing is like every person can relate, I think, to the feeling of like not being whatever their pretty is or pretty enough in the world. Like that's a very universal feeling, but you are someone that is getting like hurt on the regular by like not even things you're doing, just existing. So that is like you're also combating that. And then also you're in like a relatively new body and life and relationships, and you're like navigating that too. And those are like making the how do I feel pretty like in a pressure cooker. So I guess I want for you just, like find out the things that make you feel pretty and just do them for yourself. And again, do them for yourself to fake it till you make it, because eventually then you'll believe it. But also as like a fuck you to all the people that are like doing the hurt, because people don't want to see like trans joy and trans queerness like as a beautiful thing in the world, because it like hurts their own insecurities or whatever. But to me, that is like the only way that we can like fight back is by actually being like the empowered, joyful, like lovely community. So I just want you to have more moments of that. I don't know how you do it, but I'm going to force you to be my friend and we'll figure it out together.
You won't have to force me. I get very good vibes.
I think you're really hot because you're, one, a badass comedian, so you're funny and smart. Two, you write 5 jokes a day. I can't even write like 5 emails a day most days. 3, you are like super stylish. We literally started talking today being like, oh my God, how cool are your glasses? I want a pair. And then I Googled where I could get your glasses. So trendsetter.
Oh, yay.
4, you're working on yourself still every day. You're like, okay, I'm going to go out in the world and like, first of all, like figure out what makes me feel good. But I'm also like looking at like changing my hair to be different or whatever. Like you're investigating that. And 5, you are someone who's like actively being hurt every day, but are like showing up in the world publicly to make it better for the people that aren't able to do that. So like all of those things make you the hottest person in the world.
Can I add 6 to that?
Yes.
Yes, add 6. This is your homework.
6 after 46 years of doing stand-up and countless movie and TV auditions. I finally got my SAG-AFTRA card last year. So
Yay. That is not a
never,
small
never
thing.
give up. Never give up.
Never give up. You're never
Yeah.
giving up. That's incredible. So I don't know if any of that made you feel good, but feel free to write them on a sticky note on your mirror.
Okay.
What I would like to say is several things. One, I think we should work on an event, which I think we're going to have a conversation about. Two, I feel like there could be a follow-up in store here to see progress and I Feel Pretty 2.0.
Oh, God.
Yep. We're talking, if it's homework, there's a test. It's not a test. There's a check-in. But if you're open to it, like maybe like 6 months from now, like we check in, or a year from now we check in and we say, how'd that go? What happened? And what was different and what showed up? You know, because I'd be really interested to see what happens. I do want to ask you to tell everyone, because they need to get into the world of Julia Scotti. So tell them like where they can follow you on the social, tell them the name of your doc and your book, all that jazz.
The documentary is called Julia Scotti, Funny That Way. It's Susan Sandler who wrote the movie Crossing Delancey and stuff, and it's available really on all platforms. You just Google it, it's everywhere. You can find me on juliascotti.com. My schedule is always up to date there. I just started on Substack, so I'm pretty much everywhere.
Well, this has been such a lovely conversation. I just want to say thank you for being open to chatting with us and talking through it. Because it's like, whenever anybody comes in with anything, it's like, obviously, we are always thinking about, we're usually with the person. Like, we're not better than anyone. We're all in this and we're all trying to figure it out. And I know there's a ton of people that are going to be able to relate to what you said today. So I'm just really thankful you came on. So, folks, Steph and I were just chatting, and we were like, Julia's not the only person who doesn't feel lovable or lovely or pretty. And of course, producer Steph and her team were like, we can handle that. They found friends of the show, and these are moments where they felt hot, they felt cute, they felt powerful and joyful in their beautiful trans lives, and we wanted to share it with you. Take a listen.
A moment of really significant trans joy for me came after getting top surgery. And I remember walking around my childhood neighborhood. I burst into tears because I felt like I had truly honored myself and feeling totally free.
I want to say, first and foremost, you don't have to make alterations to be trans. I did make some alterations, and some of my biggest moments of trans joy do come from that. Like when I'm about to go outside and I don't have to put a bra on, when I go for a run and it's just me and the wind. Yeah, I absolutely feel trans joy.
As a non-binary person, I think the thing that makes me happiest expressing my gender is probably my art. It's kind of hard for me to present myself in public as anything other than femme, and I feel like art just doesn't really have a gender, and people can interpret it the way they want to without having to restrict themselves to gender norms.
A moment that makes me feel hot and gives me trans joy is when I take my dog out in nature and we're just running and I have my shirt off and the sun is beating on my chest and on my back and my dog is looking up at me like she loves me so much, and I don't think anything feels that good.
One of my favorite things about being non-binary is the lack of social formula for being or presenting as non-binary. I get to be creative and define my own look and my own meaning to being non-binary.
I got to go to the beach wearing a bikini for the first time after having bottom surgery without any of the fear. I avoided swimming for a really long time, even though I love it so much. And it just makes me really happy that I'm going to be able to do that again like everybody else.
The moment of trans joy that I have been lucky enough to experience in my life happened in an alley in the Mission District in San Francisco back in June of 2024. And a group of trans and genderqueer folk were there dancing till the sun came up. And it was the most profound experience I've ever had of community and pure revelry. No outside forces, could cast any gloom. None of the baggage anybody carried there before that moment mattered. It was so impactful and profound for me that I woke up the next morning and decided to transition.
The real joy came once I was able to unpack and untangle all of these socialized views of what gender was and how I fit into it. Through the support and encouragement and love from my queer community, I feel alive, I feel myself, I feel hot, and I don't feel like an alien. And I wouldn't have been able to get here without the queer love and support that I've received along the way.
What a fantastic chat, y'all. I love Julia Scotti, and I love that she came on and was willing to really talk to us about a hard topic. Thank you, Julia. And if you want to follow her and get all the funny, just click on the show notes for her Instagram and check out her movie. And if you are listening and no one has told you today, you look very pretty. For more Robin, and you may need that, you probably don't need it, but if you do, you can follow me at Real Rob Hops on all the platforms, all the socials, as the kids today say. Well Adjusting is an Edit Audio original series. It's exec produced by Steph Colburn and Robin Hopkins. Our producer is Maria Passingham, and our production manager is Kathleen Speckert. This episode was edited by Oliver Grandis. Thank you to the entire Edit Audio team and to you for listening. Oh, hey, before you take out those AirPods, this show is just for entertainment. If you are in need of help, please reach out to a professional. Go ahead and get that help. You deserve it.